Hey guys, Ashton here, and welcome back to Precision Horology. Well, in the last few videos, we talked about various Omega calibers, and in a couple videos previously, we talked specifically about the Omega 561 teardown and rebuild. And I talked about using that specific caliber to go through some timing tolerances and timing information. A lot of people these days, collectors have their own personal timing machines. Maybe it's connected to a phone app. Maybe it's one of those Far East made timing machines that you can buy, the Wishis, I think they're called. And a lot of the times people will sell a watch or people will buy a watch based on one position being shown on the timing machine, or people will put a watch on the timing machine in one position and say, oh look, it's keeping great time. But a lot more involved in that. So today we're going to get into the nitty gritty of timing and see exactly what's involved. So because we're dealing with an Omega 551, what we'll do is we'll look at the actual numbers required by Omega. Now we have some interesting information on the top here. This is working instruction number 28, which tells us what kind of timekeeping tolerances we can expect from various movements. Now, Omega 551 is program number 26, which is what we'll be dealing with here. So, a couple of things that we need to note. We can see our lift angle. Now, why is it important that we know our lift angle? Well, if our lift angle isn't correct, it can actually change the the amplitude results on the timing machine. If we think about watches that are sold or bought based on a number on a timing machine, the lift angle is usually set to 52 degrees because that's the standard kind of Swiss lever lift angle that many watches use. Now, if you don't know the lift angle of the watch and you have it set to 52 degrees, you're going to get incomplete or incorrect, I should say, amplitude readings. And that's going to tell you that perhaps the health of the watch is much better than it actually is. So if we look here at program 26, we have an amplitude, we have a lift angle, of 49 degrees. Now 49 degrees, if we have it set to 52 degrees, we're actually going to get a higher amplitude reading than we really should. Now, it's not going to make a huge difference between these two, but if we look at program 17, it has a lift angle of 36. Now that means that we're going to have a much higher amplitude reading if we have it set to 52 degrees, and we're going to have incorrect information. So it's really important to know what the lift angle is. So we can now take a look at the number of positions that we're going to test in. That's our next item on the list. Now, Omega state that we should test in 3 positions. Now, I like to test all watches in 6 positions that come through the workshop, 5 to 6 positions depending, just because you get a more complete picture of the watch. But Omega do require only 3 positions to be tested in. Now, those three positions would be the watch horizontally on the table with the dial up. It would be the crown pointed towards the ground as if you were wearing the watch, and it would be with your wrist like so if it was sitting on the table like so. So they're the 3 positions that Omega say that vintage watches should be tested in, but we're going to test in, as I said, 6 positions for this purpose. Test mode, not really important, standard. And we have target rate, which is seconds per day. We have our average rate in seconds per day. We have our delta at 0 hours and our delta at 24 hours. So let's figure out what these numbers mean. First off, we need a measuring time of 40 seconds and we need a stabilization time of 20 seconds. So that means after 20 seconds, it kicks in, it stabilizes, and then we're ready to go and time our movement. Measuring time of 40 seconds, the more modern machines take an average over 40 seconds of timekeeping. We'll go to my machine in a bit. My current machine doesn't do this, so we just watch the screen to make sure that our rate is stable. That's the important part. The new machine that I'm actually in the process of getting is going to have measuring time set, so that will be very handy for me. Now, when the watch is fully wound, 30 to 90 minutes after the watch is fully wound, we put it on the timing machine. And then we check again after 24 hours, between 23 and 25 hours after the mainspring's fully wound, we check again. Now we'll skip target rate for now, and we'll go to 0 hour. So X 0 hour is the average rate in 3, 5, or 6 positions. So remember, we test in 3, according to Omega specs, but we're going to test in possibly 5 positions. So it's going to be the average rate. So it's going to be all the numbers added up. If there's losses, we add up the gains, we minus the losses, and we divide by 3, 5, or 6. We do the same thing for the average rate in 3, 5, or 6 positions after 24 hours. So we add up all the numbers, minus the negatives, and we divide by 3, 5, or 6. Now the average rate is those numbers, the 0 hour number and the 24 hour number, divided by 2. This gives the value for the average rate of vintage calibers in seconds per day. Our delta, it's the largest difference between the positions. So if we have -3 and +5, that's a delta of 8. +5 -3, we have a delta of 8. The same thing, largest difference between positions after 24 hours. The final number we have is the target rate. To get an ideal average rate, the rate adjustment is done according to the target rate. The target rate of a program is defined by the highest value of the average rate at 0 hours divided by 2. So if we go look back to program 26, we have a target rate that's set at 9 seconds per day, plus 9 seconds. That's our target rate that we want to set to. If we look at our average over the 0 and 24 hours, we have a tolerances of 0 seconds to plus 18 seconds. We look at our deltas at full wind. We have a difference of 30 seconds. We look at our deltas after 24 hours. We have a difference of 40 seconds. And as always, we need to know that our beat error, our beat error is 0.8 when it comes to our timing machine. So let's head over to the machine and check out the numbers. So the watch is fully wound at this point. We've given it some time to settle, and we can check our timing results here. Now we can see that we have our lift angle set correctly to 49 degrees, which we know is important because we spoke about that earlier. We have our measuring time set to 20 seconds, and we also have our correct beats per hour set. So we can see that we've got amplitude of around 280, we have a gain of around plus 9 seconds per day, and a beat error of 0.2. So our beat error needs to be below 0.8. We can see that we have nice, strong, stable amplitude, and we have a nice rate as well. So plus 8 seconds a day, around 275, 280 degrees of amplitude. We're looking very good in this position. If we go to our dial up position, which is how the watch would sit if it was sitting on the bench, we can see we have a gain of around plus 7 seconds and an amplitude of 280. We've got a beat error of 0.0. So again, looking at really good numbers here. Noticing amplitude similar in the 2 horizontal positions, which indicates there's nothing wrong with our balance staff. Timekeeping similar, which is good. It means our hairspring is looking good, flat and centered. Escapements all set up correctly as well. So we're seeing really nice numbers here in this position too. So we now have the watch in the crown down position. Again, numbers are good, beat error is good. We're looking around plus 6, plus 7 seconds per day. Amplitude of around 249, 250. This is good. We've got a drop in amplitude of around 30 degrees. Sorry, it's actually 20 degrees. A drop of around 20 degrees, which is really, really good for a vertical drop. So we're very happy with the timekeeping in this position here. We've now gone to a crown left position on the timing machine. Again, numbers very good, plus 6 seconds, amplitude of around 248. Beat error is good, so we're really got good numbers there, very happy with those results. So we can now head over to our crown up position. We can see we're at about 0 seconds in the crown up, beat error at 0.4, and amplitude of around 250. So around +1 second. So we're all good there. We've got healthy amplitude, beat error is fine within tolerance, and our rate's looking good as well at around +1, +2 seconds in the crown up position. So if we now go to our crown right, we can see again good numbers, +5, +6, beat error is good, and amplitude's hovering around 250. So we're looking really good in our crown right position at full wind. So we're now done with all our full wind testing. We can move on to our testing after 24 hours and see what kind of results we come up with there. So it's 24 hours later, and we can look at our results now. We can see that we have the crown, the dial down, and we have a gain of around +8, +9 seconds, and an amplitude that's jumping around between 240-ish to 250-ish, which is fantastic numbers that we are seeing there in that position. So we're now into the dial up position, as if it would be sitting on the table. Again, we're around 240, 243 amplitude. We have a gain of around 8 to 10 seconds per day. Again, we just watch the rate, make sure the rate's stable in every position. That's why we have our measuring time set, and that's why we have our 40 seconds of testing time too. So again, we're seeing nice numbers in this position, nice numbers and healthy amplitude that we're seeing as well. So very happy with those results. Next, we have our crown down position. We can see we have a gain of around +7, +8 seconds per day. Just ignore those dots that are showing up on the screen. That's to do with my voice being picked up by the timing machine. Normally dots like that would indicate there's a noise somewhere, but it's just my voice from the timing machine. So we can see that we have a nice gain of around 8-9 seconds a day, and we have amplitude that's around 215. If we remember, Omega require us to have a minimum amplitude of 160 degrees after 24 hours. So we've got a really healthy amplitude. We're well above that in this position. We now have our crown left position. Again, amplitude of around 220 and gaining around 9 seconds a day. So really good numbers there too. Now we have our crown up position. We're looking around +2, +3 seconds with amplitude of around 210, and our beat error is still good. Our beat error is still below the 0.8 there, so we're looking very good in that position. And finally, we have our crown right, a gain of around +6, +5, and we have nice amplitude hovering around the 215 mark. So also really good in that position. So that's all our half wind positions taken care of now. So now we can take a look and examine our results that we found. At full wind, dial up +8, amplitude of 278. Dial down +7, amplitude of 280. Crown down +7, amplitude of 248. Crown left +6, 248. Crown right +5, 250. Crown up +2, 250. After 24 hours of running, we see +9, 240, +8, 242, +8, 215, +9, 212, +5, 213, +2, 210. So we're seeing really good numbers. If we remember, in the crown down position, or in any vertical position, after 24 hours, Omega state that the power reserve has to be over 160. Now, sorry, the amplitude has to be over 160. We're well over 160 in all our positions. We can see that our rate is stable across all positions. We don't have any wild fluctuations when it comes to after 24 hours. Very similar, and our amplitude drops are very similar as well. Now, our delta at 0 hours was 6, which is 8 minus 2, because they're our largest difference in positions. And our delta after 24 hours is 9 minus 2, which is 7. Now we can see our average rate, all the numbers added up, divided by 6, gives us an average rate of plus 5.8 seconds after 0 hours, and plus 6.8 seconds after 24 hours. Now if we divide those numbers by 2, if we add up the two average rates and divide by 2, we get to plus 6.3 seconds per day. So over 6 positions, and after full wind and after 24 hours, this watch will gain around plus 6.3 seconds per day. Now if we go back to our sheet, program number 26, we had a target rate of around plus 9. Well, our target rate at the moment is plus 6.3. We had a variation, or an average rate, of 0 to plus 18. So we can see that we're well within those tolerances. Our delta for full wind was 30-second difference over different positions, and our delta after 24 hours was 40 seconds. We can see that here our delta is 6 and 7, and our average rate is plus 6.3. So we can see that this watch is well within spec and running absolutely fantastically. We have a huge margin of error there that we can work with, but this is like how we like to see watches running. People often say vintage watches can't be made to run well. Not entirely true. It's the case in certain watches, but these old Omegas can achieve pretty fantastic timing results, as you can see here. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Tell other people about it that you think might enjoy the content. You can like this video. Please head over to my website, precisionhorology.com, to check out my blog, different articles there that you can see, and check out the other videos in my channel too. So thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.